All right, let's dive right in. Have you ever felt like you're on a content treadmill? You're making great stuff, but you're just drowning in the chaos of trying to manage it all. Well, we're about to take a look inside a creator's self-audit as they face a problem so many of us run into. What happens when high output meets low structure and things start to get messy?
And boom, this quote right here, it just nails it, doesn't it? The problem isn't a lack of ideas, it's a lack of a system. The bottleneck isn't creativity, it's the actual operations. And that is such a crucial distinction to make.
And here's just how big that challenge is. We're not talking about one or two platforms. We're talking about 5, each one with its own audience, its own demands. The system holding this all together is described as fragmented. And you can just imagine, that's where 1,000 little frustrations are born every single day. Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to break it down piece by piece. Let's start diagnosing the friction on each platform, and we'll start with one of the biggest players in the game.
First up, YouTube. And what's so fascinating here is how one seemingly small choice, just splitting activity across a couple of accounts, has totally snowballed into this constant daily headache.
So here's what that split looks like. On one side, you have the primary channel, and that's the one tied to their premium subscription. This is where they watch content. But then on the other side, you have the secondary channel, where they actually post all their own work. It's like their consumption life and their creation life are living in 2 totally different houses. You can already feel the disconnect, right?
And this chart, this shows you exactly where all the creators' energy is going. Rally Talks is the main event, no question. Rally Vibes gets a little love, but that premium channel is basically a ghost town. This isn't a balanced system. It's one workhorse channel doing all the heavy lifting, while the others just kind of add to the confusion.
And you know what? The creator totally nails the diagnosis themselves. This isn't about burnout. It's not a motivation problem, it's a strategy problem. Each channel is missing a clear, distinct purpose, and that makes it almost impossible to know where to put your time and energy. All right, let's switch gears over to TikTok. Now, if the YouTube problem was all about a lack of clarity, the TikTok problem is all about a lack of discipline. As you can see here, the output is huge, but the structure that's supposed to support it, it's just completely fallen apart. And here's what happens when that structure is missing, right? You get videos with no descriptions, no hashtags, no calls to action. Every single post becomes a missed opportunity to connect with your audience or to drive traffic somewhere else. And what's worse, it's not just a missed opportunity, it's creating this mountain of work that the creator now has to go back and fix.
Okay, so we've laid out all the problems, the whole messy situation. But the creator isn't just stuck in the chaos, they're actively trying to find a way out. This next part is all about that search for intention, the plan to turn this whole mess into an actual system.
The TikTok fix is all about being pragmatic. It's not about redoing everything from scratch. It's about adding a layer of function to what's already there. So by going back and just adding pinned comments, the creator can retroactively put in those crucial calls to action, turning these dead-end videos into on-ramps for their other platforms. It's a cleanup job for sure, but a really smart one. Now, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, the strategy completely changes. The goal here is not high output at all. Instead, the creator is moving toward using them way less often, but with a lot more specific intent. That classic quality over quantity approach. So basically, Facebook and Instagram are getting demoted to a support role. The new rules are pretty simple. Use them less, be subtle, and don't be spammy. It's this whole philosophy of post with intent, then get out, letting them support the main channels without becoming yet another content treadmill that needs to be fed. And finally, we get to this platform called Sora. And this is where the whole dilemma gets really, really interesting. Let's just assume for a second that Sora is a platform where creators can feature or cast other people in their content. For this creator, the challenge here isn't about workflow, it's about ethics. So here's the core of it. The platform's notification system creates what the creator calls unintended pressure. So when they feature someone, that person gets this active notification. It's almost like an unsolicited demand for their attention. And for our creator, that just doesn't sit right. And this leaves the creator with some really tough questions. Do they delete the content? Do they stop featuring people altogether? There's no easy answer here, right? It's a classic conflict between that urge to create and the responsibility you have to be a good citizen in someone else's digital space. So after breaking down all these separate platform problems, what's the big picture here? What's the takeaway? Well, it's not really about a specific tool or a tactic. It's about the mindset you need to navigate this kind of creative chaos and actually come out the other side.
And honestly, this right here might be the most important part of this whole thing. The creator doesn't see this mess as a sign that they've failed. They see themselves as just mid-process. That tiny shift in perspective is everything. It turns what feels like frustrating chaos into a necessary and maybe even productive phase of growth.
So the path forward is actually pretty clear. It's about taking all of this chaos and funneling it into a much more intentional system. It's about setting clear goals, designing smoother workflows, and finding a real sense of purpose for everything, all designed to reduce that friction that kicked off this whole self-audit in the first place.
And all of this really leaves us with one last kind of big question to chew on, right? In a creator world that never ever stops moving, is a perfect system even the right thing to aim for? Or is the real work, the sustainable work, found not in trying to escape the process, but in learning how to live inside of it, constantly refining, adapting, and embracing the beautiful mess of it all?